Okay, councillors, thank you. Hindmarsh Shire Council acknowledges this meeting is being held on the land of the Watchaboli, Jardwa, Jali, Wirragaya and Juttlewok nations, and we acknowledge them as traditional owners of country. We recognise the important ongoing role that Indigenous people have in our community and pay our respects to their elders past and present. This meeting is being broadcast on the internet, and the recording of the meeting will be published on Council's Facebook page and YouTube channel. As a visitor in the public gallery, if you may be filmed. By remaining in the public gallery, you consent to being filmed and for the recording of you to be made publicly available by council. A copy of the council live streaming and recording of council meetings policy is available at the back of this room and on council's website. Please speak with one of our staff members if you have any questions. Thank you, Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. Our commitment is to come prepared to every meeting, fostering a respectful and inclusive environment where accountability and approachability are at the core of our actions. We value and encourage innovation, collaboration and open communication, always keeping in mind the well-being and needs of our community. Together, we stand united as one, working towards shared goals with mutual respect and consideration.
Thank you, sir. Okay, item 3, declarations of interest. Is there anyone? Oh, sorry. Well done. Sorry. Item 2, apologies. No. Okay. Conflicts of interest, general or material conflicts of any interest from anyone around the table?
Mayor, I will declare a material conflict of interest in item 15.1 as it relates to my employment.
Thank you. Any others? No? Okay. Item 4, confirmation of minutes, and there is a recommendation. Do I have a mover? Councillor Barger.
Thank you. I move that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, the 18th of December, 2024 at the council chamber, 92 Nelson Street, Nil, as circulated to councillors, be taken as read and confirmed.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Aitken. I'm not sure if there's any need to speak to the motion. I'll just put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 4.2, business arising from previous minutes.
It's just the explanation.
Sorry?
It's just the explanation.
Okay. Item 5.
I do have a question.
Sorry, yes.
The business arising from the previous minutes, I just wanted to check with council what the status of the new kindergarten site in Nil is, if it's ready for the opening on the 12th of February.
Works have been completed, a new footpath has been constructed, a new crossover, tree trimming and tidy up of the front of the new kinder in preparation for our new students to arrive.
Thank you.
See here we also have a council intends to submit a funding application for upgrades to the Dimboola swimming pool. Has there been any progress made on that application for the funding yet? The application has been made.
We're currently preparing the application. We have a survey that has been out to the community to gain support for the project, to seek community feedback. And we're also, we were due to hold drop-in sessions this week, but due to the fires, they have been postponed. But next week, we'll be holding a drop-in session in Dimboola at both the library and at the swimming pool to gain further feedback from the community.
Thank you. And Mayor, if I may, just a follow up there, I see in relation to the contract awarding for the emulsion tank, the documents have been completed. Planning and footings, concrete pad are in process. So that's just for the purposes of elsewhere, and realising that progress has been made there as well.
Yep. Thank you. No further questions? If not, we'll move on to item 5, public question and submission. Tom?
There's no public questions or submissions today.
Thank you. Item 6, activity reports. It seems mine's the first on the list. Some of this is so old now, but I did attend mayoral training in Melbourne along with our deputy mayor back in December. And it's the first time I've done this, and it's now compulsory, and it was very, very much worthwhile going. I think we both learned a lot from it. And certainly I think it can't do anything but good to inform people about, you know, what should and shouldn't be done around the table. So I thought it was very well worth going to. The Nil College Awards Night, first time I've been to Nil College's Awards Night. Sorry, Denballers, my apologies, Denballers, sorry, thank you. It was, I suppose, just a fraction emotional for me because Mrs. Clingy was a very good friend of my wife. So, but it was a great night, and 55 minutes it took to go through the whole program. So I thought they were very efficient also. Don't think there's anything else there that I need to discuss. I'll hand over to, the Australia Day events. I attended all 4, and they're all very well attended in all the towns. And it was a great day for everyone, and the award recipients were very well received. And might I say, still, I think our CEO is going to make comment about that as well. Aren't you, or not?
Oh, was nothing on.
Oh, right.
Well,
I did want to make mention of Jan Ballard's Medal of the Order of Australia, which was very pleasing to see her get. And I don't know Jan real well, but I did chaperone her down to Tasmania years ago when they won their Tidy Towns Awards, and got to know her a little bit. A lovely lady, and does a lot of work in Dimble and has done over a long time. So it was very pleasing to see her get that award. And yeah, I think the highlight of the whole trip is she met Bill Shorten in the airport, and her husband, I think, was also very impressed. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you, Councillor Oy.
Thank you. December was very busy. It was quite intense in terms of training, inductions, but it was also very enlightening and quite engaging. A bit of networking too, that was really nice. Also being councillors, you know, you get invited to taste fruitcake as well. So that was interesting. That was fun. And also it was my first Australia Day speech given in Nil as well. So that was quite personal for me to tell my story so that people understood my background and what I've been through, but also to highlight that one can become something, you know, through perseverance and being accountable for your decision making. So no, yeah, and now of course we're into another new month of intense activity. So, but I would like to acknowledge Monica's work during the last few weeks. Has been phenomenal. So thank you.
Thank you. And I was very impressed with your presentation on Australia Day too, Councillor. I was, yeah, I found it quite emotional too, what you've been through. Councillor Aitken.
Yes, as the other councillor said, we had quite a busy month back in December with different breakups and so forth. I did actually have a number of meetings. I went to the Friends of Lake Albocutcha out at Rainbow. There was a couple of different things they were looking at with the fixing up and hot water service out at the amenities out at Western Beach, and also they spoke about the gypsum traffic along those roads out around Albocutcha, including some problems with kangaroos and so forth. The next thing we had, I spent a day or so out with Telstra technicians. I did speak about this briefly at our last meeting, that they may come to speak at this meeting today, I believe that will probably be pushed out to the March meeting. As I said, we had got invited out to many different clubs for dinner over the Christmas break. Parrot Museum, carols by candlelight at Lane Parrot Rainbow. We did this Peach 12 School Awards in Rainbow. Then we had the archaeologist survey assessment around Rainbow and Antler Creek and at Big Desert. That was back in the 20th of the 12th. So back in December. Let me see what else we do down here. Oh, and the Australian Day ceremonies at Rainbow, Parrot, Timber and Nil. And again, great talk. It was really interesting. Then we led into the desert fires. And again, thanks to Monica, did a great job in the Hindmarsh Shire. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Aiken. Councillor Barker.
Thank you, Mayor Ismay. Yeah, an exciting time during December, very busy. We'd only just stepped out, went to lots of really wonderful activities and events. Went to the Wimmera Mallee Pioneer Museum open night and barbecue. That museum is phenomenal. It is so big. There is so much there, and I feel like there's a lot more that council could become, or that Parrot could be more involved with. It certainly seemed underutilized, and the volunteers were lovely, and they said they were available for walking tours. Unfortunately, they didn't do any on that night, but it just shows that they're, I'm not sure how that is organized or how you organize to go there and have a tour, but it seems like a facility that could be really become a major thing to go to in our region. Also, we had the Christmas carols night here in Nil, really well attended, lots of children, pets, families. We had the Lions Club doing the barbecue. It was, we had Richie Dodds from the West Wimmera Health Service CEO doing the emceeing. We had Melanie Albright was the big organizer of it all, and she had her husband and another Marty there and his crew doing all the sounds. And then so it was a really come together of a lot of organizing. There was the Leos were doing things. The CFA came with Santa. Children were so excited. It was just a really lovely Christmas event. Went really well. And I would also reflect the Australia Day event was really beautiful day to attend, and there's a lot of controversy over Australia Day at the moment, and I thought regardless of that, it was a lovely to acknowledge living in Australia and the privilege that we have with that, especially with the speech that was given by Deputy Mayor Chen Oy, but that it was inspirational to reflect on how lucky we are and how much privilege we have with the country that we live in. So lots of really wonderful events. And thank you, Deputy Mayor Chen.
Done?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Barrett.
I'm not like you guys, I probably haven't done as much, so my apologies. I need to also write down all the things I do to remind myself, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, December was good. We had a few breakups here and there, and like Roger said, we done a bit with Telstra. Apart from that, haven't really done a lot, but I did go to the fire recovery thing at Timber the other day, and one of you did speak well, along with all the other volunteer servicemen. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Clark, you haven't put in a report, but I'll ask if you want to make.
My apologies, Mayor. Obviously working in the emergency services sector. I'm also quite heavily involved in the Country Fire Authority and the Lions Club. In fact, I've got multiple hats, and I've just been flat chat with in relation to the Little Desert fires and the Grampians fires as well. So basically, yes, like everyone, December and even into January, it was pretty flat out for me. been to Lions Club meetings, I've been to the Urunga Homestead Committee meeting, the Australia Day ceremony. To me it was disappointing because the night before that I went down there with my Lions hat on, spent 2 hours blowing down the area where everyone was sitting, made it all look sweet. Only had wind overnight and the next day it looked like trash. So, yeah, but the service in fact was fantastic, and I believe the council's choice of Citizen of the Year was a very good choice as well.
Yeah.
I guess there are other things I've been involved in as well. Like I said, just addressing something for Councillor Barker. Obviously in my role, I drive around a heck of a lot at all hours of the day and night. The Wimmera Museum there, or the Jeparit Museum, most days there's the ladies sit out the front and to have the museum open. Fantastic icy piles, their coffee's a bit, but then I only ask for international roast. One other thing I've been working with too is National Heavy Vehicle Regulators in relation to the gypsum traffic that travels through the northern part of the Shire. I've been working with National Heavy Vehicle Regulators. They've been down the last 2 days, and we'll be popping in. I'm not going to give away time, dates, places over the next month or two as well. And last but not least, like I said, with my emergency services role, survey role, I'm very aware of how much Hindmarsh Shire staff, including Monica, work in the background and are not acknowledged. And I just say brilliant stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. And before I move on, I'd just like to maybe acknowledge the other guest speakers in the other 3 towns who presented as along with Councillor Boy. So there was a guest speaker in Rainbow and Jeparit and Dimbalra, so I think they all gave very good presentations. So I thought we probably shouldn't single anyone out, although is that sitting at the table with us. So item 7, correspondence, and there was a recommendation there.
Do we move the recommendation?
Sorry. Oh, sorry, Councillor Parker.
Okay, I move that the council notes the attached correspondence from Renee Wheaton and the Moorabool Shire Council.
Thank you. And a second, Councillor Park. You would like to speak to the motion?
Yes, I would. I'm interested in the letter or the correspondence that we received from the Moorabool Shire Council in regard to Hindmarsh Shire Council, looking for support in regard to the collection of the new Emergency Services and Volunteers Fund, which is going and how that's going to impact us. I was wondering if our CEO would like to reflect on that with us.
Yes, so as the community may be aware, council currently recoups on behalf of the state government the fire service levy from the 1st of July 2025. This is now going to be known as the Emergency Services and Volunteers Fund. It is set by the state government. It is not a levy that is set by council, and council just simply collect the funds on behalf of the state government and remit them back to the state government. Just so that the community can understand some of the impacts that they may see on their rates notices, for the 2024-2025 period, for the total fire service levy collection that's on our rates notices in Hindmarsh, we collected about $2.1 million on behalf of the state government. Based on the current valuations in our system, it's anticipated that for 25-26, that this will increase to just over $4 million that we will collect on behalf of the state government, with the majority of the increase being seen by our primary production, so our farming community. And so that will have a significant impact on the rates assessments when they do come out for the community. But it is not a council set levy. It is something that's set by the state government. We're simply given the information on the flat rate and then the rate in the dollar. And when we receive our valuations, when they come through from the Valuer General's office, it's likely that we will actually collect a significant amount more than that for dollars.
So can I just reflect that what you're saying is that this new fund is not money that the Hindmarsh Shire Council will have to utilise. It will go straight from ratepayers through Hindmarsh Shire Council to the state government and then be allocated to the emergency services from there. Thank you. But it will be on the rates notices,
It will be on the rates notices, and people will notice a significant increase.
double from what you said.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Councillor Clark.
Certainly sounds to me like we're the messenger delivering the bad news. Don't come and shoot us.
It is unfortunate that that's something that's imposed on us. And the CEO has also stated that all that money that, you know, is collected, we don't even receive any interest on it, or even the interest that might be collected from it goes back to the government. So we get absolutely nothing out of it. We just the collectors of it, and probably the ones that get punished for collecting it unfairly. So yes.
So on that, that's right. Thank you, Mayor Ismay. And the letter from Moorabool Shire Council was reflecting for councils to gather together to ask the state government to collect that directly themselves. Is that something that Hindmarsh Shire Council is in agreement with?
The CEOs have a meeting, and absolutely that came through loud and clear, is that can the state government investigate the collection through the agencies that they already have, rather than council being the collection house. As you know, the property tax is already collected and remitted directly to the state government. So the question is, why can't that authority also be responsible for the fire service levy collection? Or well, the emergency services fund, as it's going to be known from the 1st of July.
So we sit and wait to see what happens.
We will advocate our peak bodies, so the Municipal Association is also going to advocate on behalf, and absolutely we will also be writing a letter to be pushing.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a motion. There's no further comment of the motion. All in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. Item 8, Assembly of Councillors' Records and a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. I move the motion that council note the Assembly of Councillor Records as presented and with attachments 5 to 7, and hope that my notes be added to it as we go further forward.
Thank you. The seconder, Councillor Barry. No further comment on the motion. All in favour? Against, the motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, item 9, planning permits. 9.1 planning permit application PA 1863-2024 Lake Road, Japarra, Victoria 3423. And this report seeks a decision for planning application PA 1863-2024, recommending that council issues a notice of decision to issue a planning permit. Proposes the use of and development of land and for a sand quarry on Lake Road, Japarra, with a total footprint of 9.66 hectares. The application is presented to council for a decision as there is a standing objection from a neighbour who is concerned about access to the site, increased salinity in the soil, and general quarry rehabilitation. Ultimately, the planning assessment provided in the attachment demonstrates that the proposal will result in an acceptable planning outcome, and the issues raised by the objector have been adequately addressed. So are there any questions from councillors around the table? Councillor 8, no?
Questions?
Yes.
On the objection letter that we did receive, the first point there, I do see that they did ask if there was going to be changes to access, which has been noted in the conditions. That there will be prior to the commencement of the use of that land. The objectioner also asked for the exact location of the quarry to be identified within the allotment. Just wanted to check that has been supplied with all of the answers to his questions. Or to their questions, sorry.
The figure 2 in the attached, in the report, actually outlines the, location of the quarry. And I believe the objectioner was provided with the location. And we, provided the objectioner to provide us the feedback. And we did not receive any feedback.
Thank you.
Okay, there is a recommendation, so is anyone prepared to move the recommendation? Councillor Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I move the motion that council issues a notice of decision to grant a planning permit for PA 1863-2024 for use and development of the land for extractive industry. Fancy name for being a sand quarry at Lake Road, Japarra 3423. In the parish of Japarra, CA 39A, in accordance with the following table, and also subject to the following conditions, of which there were 11 there. So yeah, I'll move that motion.
Thank you. And the seconder? Councillor Aiken. Would you like to comment on your motion?
Thanks, Mayor. Look, for various reasons, I've got a bit of an interest in this, and those reasons are simply through my roles, as I've already declared, being CFA, CFA, and also with my emergency services role. Hence, I've had a bit of an interest in this application. I'm quite happy that the application came with the conditions that the entrance and exit be moved from the initial to where it is now for a safer reason, and also to the conditions in relation to the native vegetation, and also to parking and that as well. I'm aware there's also a similar operation over further closer to Lake Hindmarsh that I know has been there for nearly 2 decades, and I'm not aware of one issue, and its operation seems to be very similar.
Thank you.
I agree with councillor Clark. They've done a very good job at the other quarries or extractive industry sites they've run before, and I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone want to speak against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. Item 10, reports requiring decision. 10.1, summary of plan application approved under CEO delegation Q4 2024. This report provides council with an update of planning application approved under the delegation in the period of 1st of October 2024 to the 31st of December 2024. Are there any questions around the table?
Just for noting.
Just for noting?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a recommendation. Would someone like to move the recommendation? Thank you.
I'd like to move the motion that council notes planning applications approved by the CEO or delegate for the period of 1st of October 2024 to 31 December.
Very good. And a seconder? Councillor Barker? Like to speak to your motion? No? Councillor?
I think that it's great that we have very reliable CEO who's across all of these things, and the delegates that can look into these permits for us under her delegation. Thank you.
Thank you. No speakers against the motion. I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. Item 10.2, council plan action plan 2024-2025 Q2 update. This report presents council with an update of the progress of items identified in the council plan action plan for delivery in the 24-25 financial year. Annually, council adopts an action plan and aids in the achievement of the objectives within the council plan 2021 to 2025. The actions in the action plan correspond to the themes identified in the council plan. Our community built a natural environment, competitive and innovative economy, good governance and financial stability. Quarter 2 covers October, 1st of October, to the 31st of December 2024, with actions against each item detailed with a progress indicator. Key achievements in Quarter 2 include significant development in council's communication areas, which I think have been better than ever in my time sitting around this table.
Well done.
Delivery of a successful seniors festival program, including a visit to Telobia Downs, and progress on Davis Park and other key capital works projects. And I have been out to Davis Park just recently, and the structure's in place and it's looking very awesome. It's going to be a real jewel in the crown in a few months' time, I think. So anyway, is there any questions regarding the plan? Yeah.
I guess, I haven't checked out the, works there at Davis Park, it is?
Yeah.
What round of AFL are gonna be played out here? I have, checked out some of the roadworks around the area and, looking, as I said, I've been in this area now for nearly 2 decades, and honestly, when our Shire workers build a road, it's built. It is fantastic work. I've been out at North Lachlan Netherby Road, had a bit of a look at the work out there. They've obviously at that stage they completed a lot of it. They're still working on the last bits that I was aware. And she looks absolutely schmick. In fact, I could test my car over it for wheel balance and wheel alignment on it. It's about the only piece of smooth road around the area. So thank you.
Okay, any other councillor?
I also would reflect, Mayor Ismay, in regard to the great work that's being done online. And I think that, as, you know, I know that a lot of people are not used to being online, so the council has catered to that by sending out newsletters as well and letterbox drops, which is great for some of our older community, but the media releases and all of it makes the community feel like they know what is going on. So that's been a really great initiative, and it's been really well presented and put together every time. I also think that the work with the social engagement for our Asian community specifically, I noticed in my ward in Nil, having the cinema, and I know you're doing it in other wards as well. The different things that the council is creating, that kind of community events to go to, I think has been really well put together, and it's felt really lovely when you've been there. The volunteer taxi service in Nil, didn't even know it existed, and I kind of wondered with the comment here where it says that there was only 4 bookings in the quarter, and I know of a lot of people who have to find it difficult to get into Horsham for various tests, medical tests or things like that. They don't have cars, they don't have the transportability. I think promoting that in perhaps our next newsletter could be really useful as part of that ongoing thing.
So the Nil taxi service is for Nil, so
Yes.
it doesn't take people out of town.
Oh,
So
okay.
if somebody would like to attend a medical appointment and would like to be picked up from home to be taken to the medical appointment, the volunteers on the Nil taxi service roster will do that, but they don't actually take people out of town. The Centre for Participation in Horsham has funding for transport. So if there are community members that would be looking for transport from Nil to a medical appointment, I would encourage them to talk to the Centre for Participation and to see if they have capacity within their volunteers. So, and we have promoted that in the past in our newsletters and also on our Facebook page. But happy if any community members have any questions, talk to the Centre for Participation.
That's great. I think that's really good to know. And I wonder whether that centre of participation is also available for Japarut and Rainbow and Dimboola for that, as well as considering that we have difficulties with public transport in our regions.
And we are also just in the process of launching a campaign to try and call for volunteers for the nil taxi service so that we can get more drivers.
Wonderful. Thank you. I also want to reflect on the International Day of People with Disability and Harmony Day that the council held, which I did attend. It was at the Tiny Goats farm. Oh my goodness, how well organised was that? With all these little goats and like buses of different people coming in, and they were having a ball, and there were councillors set up different games for people to play. There was food, and the people that came to that event were really enjoying themselves, and they were well supported, and it was a beautiful day. I'd love to see a repeat of that. And because the animals there are definitely well cared for, the cows and the alpacas, and it was a really lovely day to attend, and it was really well organised. I do have a question about the implementation of the Ascetic Cloud and an effective asset management software system that's improving the financial efficacy, sustainability, and usability of our assets. So I was wondering what was happening with that, because it's due to be done by the end of June. So and what it is. What is it?
I can answer that. So Ascetic Cloud is the advanced assets management system, which will be, once implemented, will be the one-stop shop for all of our assets, so including roads, footpaths, cable channels, park furnitures, buildings, everything. The data migration currently being completed and the trainings. Once it gets completed, we will be able to do revaluation or depreciation and all of those calculation in a very short time frame, rather than a lot of manual calculations. So click of a button, the system spits out all information. We will also be able to run the prediction modelling into the system, which will give us the future prediction of what the assets behaviour would be, or what the future capital works program might look like.
Like maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance program. And it will also give us electronic the work ticketing system as well. So
you can allocate when the work's in. Okay.
yes,
Sounds
and definitely generate all the efficiencies.
excellent. Thank you. Also one more thing, sorry. This is so many in this list that has been going on. So I that I could talk about, but I love that we had the promoting Hindmarsh as a tourism destination to stop, play and stay. It's halfway between Adelaide and Melbourne. I love that. I love that we are continuing an ongoing basis to and especially since we've had this devastating fires in our national park, the Little Desert, that to continue that as I love the saying stop, play and stay, because it is a great place. There is a lot to see, and that'll be something to really focus on once we get through this period of the fire season. So really love to see that worked on. That is my lot. Mayor Ismay.
Thank you, Councillor Barker, and our CEO would like to make a comment.
Just through you, Mr. Mayor, further to the promotion of NIL, the Grampians Wimmera Mallee Tourism are having a stall at the upcoming Victorian Caravan and Camping Show, which is on the 20th to the 23rd of February. Mark Fletcher, Council's Manager of Economic Development and Tourism, will be on the stall on the Friday, and I will be on the stall on the Saturday, promoting all things Hindmarsh with our new amazing pamphlets for our 4 caravan parks, and reaching out to the thousands and thousands of people that will come through over that weekend to get them to come out to Hindmarsh.
That's in Melbourne.
It's in Melbourne at the showgrounds.
Very exciting.
And they've reduced the ticket price to $20. So for any community members that are looking to own a caravan or get into caravan and camping, they've made it reasonably priced this year.
How much are kids of mine so I can get through?
And might I say, I've been to these events before, also in Adelaide. I think when we were with Mameli Tourism as a group, we went to these shows, and we got a very good response in Adelaide, and hopefully we'll get a good response from the Melbourne place. Huge events, and if you want to go and look for a caravan, you got to spend time, because there's so many. I don't know how people can make a decision on a caravan, because there's so many of the things there that it would be tough work to work out. I think the prices probably have something to do with it, but there's so many caravans. So anyway, yeah. All right, thank you. We haven't got a recommendation. Councillor Barry?
Yeah, I'll move that council receives a council plan action plan 2024 to 2025 second quarter update.
Thank you. For the seconder, Councillor Clark. Like to speak to your motion?
Well, Rosie's done a lot. To be honest, after we've been on the council here 3 or 4 months, and I think what this council does is a lot more than a lot of people realise once you get involved, and especially with you know, the recent activities the last few weeks. It's been really good to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have many more of them, but yeah. Moving forward, I hopefully think we can get involved and do a lot more.
I think if we introduce teams, we could even do better.
Councillor Foss.
Yeah, look, look, honestly, this is bigger War and Peace, and it's only a quarter report. I've had very good look through it. I can see in some places there's low scores of 10% here, obviously out of 100. But when you look at it, sports and recreation strategy development, it's commencing in quarter 3 and 4. So obviously it's got a very low score. And when you look at all the other low scores, like one here for local laws communication plan, you know, that's for 2025. So I mean, you know, hence it's got a low score, but everything else is just ticking along magnificently.
Thank you. Anyone like to speak against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. Item 10.3, financial report and local government performance report, quarter 2, ending 31st of December 2024. The financial report for the first half of 2024-2025 financial year has been prepared, including explanations of variances where applicable. The report also contains the local government performance report to 31st of December 2024. As at the 31st of December 2024, council surplus is 8.318 million against a budget of 5.229 million. This variance is due to the receipt of financial assistance grants in full in July 2024, whereas the budget reflects quarterly payments. As at the 31st of December, council had $14.219 million in cash. The high cash balance is due to several capital projects being carried forward from 2023 to 2024 for completion in 2024-2025, as well as the early payment of a financial assistance grant. Council's expenditure on capital works was 3.358 million against a budget of 3.025 million. Some key indicators from performance report include consistent over budget revenue at the Dimboola Riverside Holiday Park and strong attendance at the Nil, Japara and Rainbow Holiday Parks. The performance report reflects strong results in pool attendance, food safety assessments and animal management service costs. So, are there any questions? Right, there is a recommendation. Councillor Barker.
I move that the council notes the financial report for the period ending 31st of December 2024, including the local government performance report to 31st of December 2024 as presented in attachment 12.
Thank you. And a seconder, councillor Aiken, would like to speak to the motion?
Yes, I would.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would reflect that the report is actually very readable, and if people take time to have a quick squizzy at it, it has some lovely graphs that show how well the caravan parks have been doing. In particular, I noticed that rainbows, last year, I guess the improvements that were made at Rainbow have increased the amount of people staying at the Rainbow Park considerably. And all of the parks are doing a lot better than they had the year before or against the projected budget. So I think it shows that there's been, and with the new initiatives that the council is putting into place of having a booking system, having, new supervisors there and team leaders is only going to increase this as a point of other income other than rates. So I think, everything else is ticking along quite well. The cash flow, the income and the balance sheet all looks quite good. But it's good to keep taking these initiatives, even the amount of money from the cinemas, we've got them, use them, and people love going, So I think that's a really good report that shows the potential other income streams for our council.
Thank you, councillor Aiken. Right. No one wants to speak against the motion? Not put the motion, all in favour? Against, motion carried, thank you. Item 10.4, Community Sports and Infrastructure Fund application. This report seeks the referral of $45,000 co-contribution to Council's 2025-2026 budget in support of a funding application through the Community Sports and Infrastructure Fund 2025. The application will seek funding for the development of a master plans for the Dimboola Recreation Reserve, Japarrat Tennis Club and Caravan Precinct and Nils Davis Park. The maximum amount of funding available through the Community Sports Infrastructure Fund 2025 is $40,000, with indicative costs for the project being $82,000. The co-contribution of $45,000 meets the own funds requirement of $10,000 and allows $3,000 as a contingency. Any questions around the table? No, we have a recommendation. Councillor Barrett.
Yeah, I move that the council supports the development and submission of a funding application through the Community Sports Infrastructure Fund 2025 for the establishment of master plans for the Dimboola Recreation Reserve, Japarrat Tennis Club and Caravan Park Precinct and Davis Park. Nil and refer council's contribution of $45,000 to the 2025-2026 annual budget.
Councillor Barrett, is a second one?
Yes.
Councillor.
Sorry.
Sorry, got it all coming from me at once. You would like to speak to your motion, Councillor Barrett?
Yeah, look, from the in Dimboola and the East Ward, and that's where I'm a councillor. Look, I hope we get it, and after that, moving forward, I hope the 8 or so user groups can get together and make it one.
Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Councillor Barry. I also reflect that I think that sports is a very important thing for our wards and an essential part of our community. I do, there was a lot of talk between us in regard to having to increase this payment to create this plan. It's reflective sometimes of how difficult it is to apply for funding and to tick all the boxes that are required when we put in for a grant. So we've had to increase this budget amount to cover that cost, but it's also covering quite a number of community sports infrastructures, which with Dimboola having a number of clubs on its recreation reserve, and the changes for Japarrit and the Caravan Park precincts and Davis Park and Nil. So it's covering a lot of things, but it has we have to get a good report put together so that we can have any chance of getting the funding. So thank you for everyone for considering increasing the budget.
Okay. Any speakers against the motion? If not, put the motion, all in favour? Against, the motion carried, thank you. Item 10.5, Nil Caravan Park Master Plan. This report presents the Nil Caravan Park Master Plan for adoption following an extensive development and consultation process. At the council meeting on the 8th of May 2024, council endorsed the recently release of the draft Nil Caravan Park Master Plan to the public for review and comment from Thursday, the 9th of May 2024 to Friday, the 7th of June 2024. Key components of the plan include a new amenities block, improved power sites, accommodation cabins, and improved vehicle caravan access, and improved facilities for park users. As a result of feedback received through this process, council officers worked with Thompson Hay Landscape Architects to develop a revised master plan that responded to the community and council input. This master plan is now presented to council for adoption. Are there any questions around the table, councillor Aitken? You look like there's about one to come.
No. I don't. After I was reading the wrong part. Apologise.
Righto. No other questions? No? Okay, we have a recommendation. Councillor Aitken?
Yes, I'd like to move that the council adopts the Nil Caravan Park Master Plan.
Thank you. Seconder, councillor Clark. Like to speak to your motion? No? Councillor Clark?
Yeah, certainly, I've had a bit to do with the Nil Caravan Park, but in certain ways. The entrance has always been a bit of an issue there. It's been an issue for several decades, really, in relation to the truck parking area, the access to the caravan park, the access to the sort of A&P society area there. This certainly looks like it's finally going to address the issue. With the Shire taking over this caravan park, I think it has the potential to be brilliant. And I think the Shire is certainly heading a long way towards making it brilliant. The location's brilliant, the access can be fantastic, and this is what it addresses as well as part of it. So I think this is a fantastic plan.
Thank you, councillor Clark. No one wants to speak against the motion? Not put the motion, all in favour? Against, the motion is carried, thank you. Item 10.6, Australian Local Government Association National General Assembly Motion 2025. Purpose of this report is to seek council endorsement to submit a motion to the Australian Local Government Association's National General Assembly 2025 that aims to enable economic development in small communities and support the financial sustainability of rural and regional councils. The proposed motion is as follows. The National General Assembly calls on the Australian Government to establish a funding stream targeting small towns up to 2,500 residents in regional Australia, focused on innovative renewal for a sustainable future. Are there any questions? No. Might I maybe speak to this? This is something that I've brought up, that I've been passionate about, I think nearly the whole time I've been on council, and it's because of all the absentee landlords that buy shops and premises in our small towns and do absolutely nothing with them. I don't see how there could be any economic benefit to some of these people. And it has annoyed the whatever out of me for a long time. And I addressed this with Andrew Broad when he was the member for Mallee way back in 2017, and it seemed like it was too hard. But anyway, I spoke with our acting CEO about this recently and suggested that, you know, we might put something up. And I didn't have I'm not a real good word person, so I engaged with him and told him what I wanted to achieve, and he's probably penned most of what's, you know, been put here and gave advice and what have you. And I don't know whether it'll be successful or not, but if we can get some of the other councils on board with it, because I think this problem happens in all our small towns. I know it's happening in a couple of our small towns around here, and I'm sure it's happening elsewhere as well. So whether it gets anywhere or not's another matter. So anyway, I don't know that I need to say any more than that, but if there's no questions, I'll take a motion. Councillor Barker.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Ismay. I would like to move that the council supports the motion to the Australian Local Government Association's National General Assembly 2025 as follows. This National General Assembly calls on the Australian Government to establish a funding stream targeting small towns up to 2,500 residents in regional Australia, focused on innovative renewal for a sustainable future.
Thank you. I've got a second. Councillor Park, like to speak to the motion?
I would. I think this is a well put together motion for the Australian Local Government Association National General Assembly. I do think that it's really important. All of our towns are less than 2,500, and I think it is really important for us to be considered how difficult it is to for our small communities to think ahead financially and create that sustainability of our region, and the innovations and the things that we may need to do and the changes that can occur, people coming to live in our regions or in a rural area, then changing their minds, moving away, buying property, moving away, and it sometimes that leaves us hanging on a string. So I think it's really important, and then the whole list there of the intergovernmental relations for financial sustainability, our roads and infrastructures. I mean, how many kilometres have we got of roads in our region? It's enough to drive to Darwin, someone said. I think, you know, emergency management, housing and homelessness, you know, that jobs and skills, what jobs, how can we be innovative in our region if, you know, we can't attract businesses and, you know, jobs to the area, manufacturing to the area. So yeah, I think it's a really good, well put together motion, and I'd be excited to get something across the line for our rural and regional areas. Thank you. Yeah, Ismay.
Thank you, Councillor Barker and Councillor Clark.
I guess I'll give a great example. I read on a reputable news site this morning, a council up in Queensland, very small council covering an absolute huge area of Australia, had a natural disaster with their roads. A $6 million bill they copped. They sent it in for funding. It then got mixed up in red tape, and now that Shire, according to the news item, is now going to be struggling for the next 3 years trying to cover a $6 million debt. And this is what I mean. This is the stuff where our local councils are struggling because there just does not seem to be any support or financials from above. And yeah, I just totally agree with it.
Thank you. Any speakers against the motion? If not, put the motion, all in favour? Against, motion carried. Thank you. Item 11, council committees. 11.1 advisory committees and there's none, sorry. 11.2 at least. community asset committees. Urunga Homestead Committee is listed here, and a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
Yeah, look, I've made a recommendation that the council notes the minutes of the Urunga Homestead Committee meeting held on the 28th of November 2024 and attachment number 14.
Very good. And a seconder. Councillor White. Like to speak to your motion?
Look, I must admit, I did not actually attend this meeting. I've attended another one since, and I'm absolutely blown away by how much this committee's taken on with the very minimal staff that they have. I just think they're doing a magnificent job.
Thank you. Councillor Lee, you would like to comment?
Oh, it's a great homestead. So if you haven't been, please go and support.
Thanks for the plug. Those speakers against the motion, put the motion all in favour. Against the motion carried, thank you. Item 12, late reports, no. No notices of motion. Item 14, other business. Councillor, oh, we're gonna go the other way, but anyway, Councillor Barker.
I would just, other business, I'm interested that we have a whole new youth council that is starting, for 2025. Well, they're not all new, I think. Hopefully some have repeated. And, so it's quite exciting. They were due to have a retreat at the Little Desert Lodge this weekend. So I am just wondering if our CEO could reflect on how that's impacted the startup for our youth council.
Yes, unfortunately, our youth retreat and certificate presentation that was scheduled for this weekend has had to be postponed due to the loss of the Little Desert Lodge. We will be working with our new youth council. We may not have a retreat, but we certainly will be looking at an official certificate presentation and an opportunity for them to come together for a day where we can talk about the year ahead, plan for the year ahead, and give them the opportunity to get to know each other.
Lovely. Thank you.
Oh,
That is all. Thank you.
Councillor,
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Councillor Barry. No,
No business here.
Councillor Clark.
Just addressing the youth council, prior to this meeting started, I've got an indication of wanting to attend a meeting in that of the youth council just to support them and help them as much as we can. Just make it clear that a copy of those dates sort of has been sent to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That's it.
Yes.
Councillor White? No? I don't think I've got a real lot. I'd like to foreshadow that we sorry?
Yes, she did.
Oh, beg your pudding.
Thank you. So thank you.
I'd like to foreshadow that I've asked Councillor Hoy to do a little presentation at our next council meeting with a magazine he's managed to get a freelance writer to do a story that's in a magazine that's distributed in Germany and France and most of Europe. And he showed it to me the other day and I was very, very impressed with what he showed me, and for someone to be able to achieve something like that. Now I've asked him to bring the magazine along to next meeting, so I thought I'd just foreshadow that, Councillor. I'm not putting the pressure on you now to say anything right now, but next meeting I would like you to bring that along and do a presentation so that the people in our community can see what you've achieved with that, because I think it wasn't just about Dinbulla. It had Dinbulla in it, but it had these salt lakes at Sea Lake and the silo art and all sorts of things that to get into a magazine. It's not even produced in Australia because it's too small a population to support it. So well done. So other than that, I'd like to just say that thank you so much to our CEO and all the staff with the recent bushfires. I think it's, like people have said around the table today, it's a magnificent job that's been done. And it's not over yet. And I think, Dinbulla was just so lucky that the wind changed at the time it did on that last recent Monday. And, we're here to support all the communities right across the Shire that are having, you know, issues with such a traumatic event. So other than that, I don't need to say anything more. So,
And great thanks to the emergency services as well.
yeah, that goes without saying, the CFA, the police, the SES and all the people that I think I've written all this, also, you know, the people that provide the food to all these people and the accommodation and all the rest of the stuff that goes on and everyone just like, it's just so pleasing to be part of a community that gets together and gets behind each other and supports everyone supports everyone else. And I think that you don't see that in some places, and we're very fortunate to have to live in a community that really, you know, gets in and helps each other. So yeah, thank you. Item 15, confidential reports. Sorry, councillor.
My apologies, Mayor. I'd just like to address the public and simply say this. If you're struggling, reach out and talk to someone. Reach out to Lifeline, reach out to someone, reach out to the Shire here and they can assist you. So I just want to make that very clear to the public and to all members here in this room.
Very good. Righto, confidential reports, and there is a recommendation. Need a motion. Councillor Clark.
Thanks, Mayor. I'll move the motion that the meeting be closed in accordance with section 66(2)(a) of the Local Government Act 2020 to consider reports that contain confidential information as defined by section 3 of the Local Government Act 2020 and / part 1B or 4 of the Freedom of Information Act in 1982. One of those is a independent chair, CEO employment and remuneration committee report.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Barger. I don't know that there needs to be any discussion or comment. I'll put the motion, all in favour. Against, the motion is carried. Thank you.